My mom left a $0 tip on a $400 bill, so I gave the waiter her gift. I was planning on buying my mother a limited run of a perfume that would be coming in since my manager allows us to sometimes reserve an item. My mother has wanted that perfume for a while, and I told her I would get it for her for Mother's Day. My family and I, about 7 people total, went out to dinner recently, and it was extremely busy that night. I could tell all the staff were worked to the bone. We sat down, ordered our food, and my mother asked for some modifications to be made to a dish. The waiter said that it was fine and the food would be out soon. The food took longer than it usually would, which made sense to me because of how busy it was. When it came, it turned out the chef forgot to put the modifications to the dish my mother ordered, and she started talking badly about the waiter to his face. He apologized and told her that he would take it back and have them remake it. She said that it should have been on him to look and verify that the food was made correctly and that he was terrible at his job. But that wasn't the worst part. He brought it back and all seemed to go well. But when the bill came, they left no tip. The bill was around $400, and my mother started bragging about it in the parking lot after we left. I told her I forgot something in the restaurant and ran back inside to find the waiter and tip him $100. That $100 came from the money I was saving to buy my mother that perfume. I told her the truth after we got back home when she asked what I forgot in the restaurant. She and my siblings blew up at me for being selfish and valuing a stranger over her own mother's feelings, calling me a selfish daughter. I feel sort of bad because I know she was looking forward to it for months, and I gave that money to a stranger instead. Up next, my stepmom canceled our Mother's Day plans to announce she's pregnant with my 48-year-old dad's child. After years of watching their relationship crumble to the point where they hated being near each other, we were all constantly fighting. He finally started the divorce process during my senior year of high school and met my stepmother only 4 months later. During that year, my parents would leave me home alone with cash while they went on dates with other people. I was living on a military base in a foreign country and was not old enough to drive, so I was completely isolated. People were actually getting worried about my mental health. My dad's relationship with my stepmother moved so fast that they were married within 8 months. He even tried to hide the marriage from me to avoid making me upset. My mother moved out before I graduated, and my dad was deployed, leaving me alone in that house for months. Now, my stepmother just canceled our Mother's Day plans because she has a very big announcement. I know she and my dad have been going to doctor's appointments, and my dad already told me she wants a child. He is currently deployed and has gone radio silent, which is his way of avoiding conflict. I am certain she is pregnant. But then, it got even more complicated. They are a 45-year-old woman and a 48-year-old man, making this a geriatric pregnancy. I think it is selfish to have a child when your only memories of your parents will be as seniors. Honestly, it hurts, knowing this child might get the happy childhood I never had. I do not know if I can pretend to be happy about this, and I struggle with lying. I have been told that I do not have to like it, but I do not get an opinion about geriatric pregnancies in general. I should limit my feedback to how I feel about my dad having another kid, not what they should do about their pregnancy, which I have no experience with and essentially do not know what I am talking about. Others pointed out that it is not a reaction if I have time to plan it and ask questions online. Since I am a young adult and it does not sound like I even live with my father, whatever he and his wife are doing with their lives does not really affect me. I am also talking out of both sides here. I think the kid would have a bad childhood because of old parents, but then I am also jealous if they have a better childhood than me. By the way, parents do not ask permission from their kids to have more kids in any family.
Some people think I am being extremely judgmental,
and that my bigger issue is jealousy over how my father may treat a new child because of how my childhood was. I clearly have a lot of unresolved issues with my parents and may want to consider talking to someone about them so that I can move past them in a healthy way and maybe have a decent relationship with any potential half-siblings. Up next, I could have maybe forgiven one affair. Then I found out there were 3. I have been married for 15 years, and I always said the one thing that would cause me to split up with someone is cheating. After seeing that, I became paranoid, nervous, and depressed. I ended up checking her phone one morning. I realized this was wrong, but I found she had slept with at least 2 other men, including the man she was sexting. After a long, difficult conversation where she was very reluctant to reveal anything, it turns out it was 3 men. The first was 3 years into our marriage. I was devastated and lost, but she said all the right things. She was in a very tough place mentally back then, so I attempted to move on and forgive. Instead, I became more depressed, more paranoid, and a worse version of myself in every way. I kept checking her phone, and she kept sexting the same guy. She begged for forgiveness every time, explained it was about control and that it meant nothing. We tried a separation and ended up together again. She said she had to keep working with him remotely and begged me not to contact him. But that wasn't the worst part. In the meantime, I started antidepressants, therapy, and made positive changes to become a better person. I have caused her financial hurt in the past and was determined to not be that person anymore. Now, I feel I have done a lot of work, but she has done nothing. She promised she would do anything to keep me, but has not even cut off the guy she slept with. In fact, she has brought him back onto another project, so they are working together again. I do not trust her to not cheat, to not lie, or to keep me safe in the relationship. Because of this, I think we are no longer compatible. I want monogamy. She wants the security of our marriage, but also to do whoever she wants. I am tired. I am hurt, and I am finally done. I am planning the rest of my life without her. I have resentment for what she has done, and it is time. Perhaps all that work I had to do was just to cope with who I had to become to live in the world she created for us. I might be pleasantly surprised at how great life is without someone so toxic in it. I am going forward with sadness for what it was, but excitement for what it can be. I cannot let myself dissolve into nothingness right in front of the person who flushed our marriage. I have to leave now, before it is too late. Up next, the only reason my fiancé didn't cheat is because her ex fell asleep. She insists that nothing physical happened between them, but the messages show clear intent. Follow-up messages show he fell asleep and stopped responding, and the morning after, he texted her saying, "Sorry, I fell asleep." I just can't believe that nothing happened at all. I'm not sure I'll ever actually know the truth. Or maybe I'm just being stupid and I already know it. Something happened between them, whether it was at the bar, in the bathroom, or the parking lot. I've thought about getting revenge, but I've never cheated on anyone. Why should I believe she wouldn't do it again? I know now that the perfect revenge is leaving and finding someone who would never hurt me on purpose. I can't stay with someone who thinks I'll stick around after they break my trust. I am not marrying her. I refuse to do the pick-me dance. If she wants to be with her ex, I'm sending her packing and moving on. Up next, my husband left me for my best friend and was back home in 2 hours. He packed a bag and left me and our kids while I completely fell apart. I am a 30-year-old woman and have been with my husband since high school. We have been together 13 years, married almost 6, And we have 2 little boys, a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old. I later found out he had been talking to my best friend behind my back for about 8 days. They had been meeting up at her work during lunch and even had sex in her work parking lot. After just 2 hours in a hotel, he came back home, saying he realized he did not want to lose his family. This is not the first time he has cheated. Years ago, I suspected something with a coworker, and though he denied it for years, I only recently found out they had kissed multiple times and he lied the entire time. Now I am trying to figure out if I am staying because I truly want to or because I am terrified of blowing up my children's lives and losing the only life I have ever known. My husband is remorseful and patient with my anger, but I feel fundamentally changed and no longer recognize myself. But then, things took an even darker turn. The betrayal with my best friend is about as low as you can go. She continued hanging out with me and telling me she loved me while secretly sleeping with my husband. People tell me that serial cheating is a pattern and that he is not going to change. Statistics show that cheaters are 3 times more likely to cheat than someone who has never cheated before. It is a high risk to chance spending my life with him, especially because I am still so young. He is not trying. He is just doing damage control. By coming back so quickly, he has not changed. He is emboldened. I have my whole life ahead of me, and 30 years old is not 90. I need to take control, give him nothing, and implement the gray rock method immediately. Every day I spend holding on to the past is a day I do not spend moving into the future.